There are three ways to live life. Treat breath as a stranger and manage all crises in life. Treat breath as a friend and manage your friend. Treat breath as the divine mother and let mother manage your life. Namaskar. I welcome you all to this session on breath. We will have around 8 sessions, and if required, it will go up to 10 sessions. Today we'll be crawling, but after 3 to 4 sessions, you'll start running. Life begins with an inhalation, and life ends with last exhalation. Your body is connected to life, and the connector is breath. Life comes to an halt if breath has come to an halt. This technique of breath is not Kriya Yoga, not even Pranayama. So we'll discuss something which is not Pranayama, which is not Kriya Yoga. We all know that thumb impression is unique. Even iris of the eye is unique. Even the voice is unique. And similarly, breath is also unique. Breath has many aspects. We have taken it for granted. Primarily, we will discuss about 10 aspects today, and I'm just touching upon those points. In the following days, we'll go more deep into each of these points. The first aspect of breath is, at any given point of time, only one nostril is more dominant. So dominance is the first point. Breath dominance, nostril dominance. So it is either your left nostril or your right nostril which is more dominant. Maybe in the case of Amar, it is left dominant. My case also, it is left dominant. But that does not mean we are equal. He could be 80-20, I could be 60-40. So the dominance could also differ. But broadly speaking, we can say that yes, his left nostril is dominant. That means left is operating more than the right. How much more? That has to be examined. It could be 90-10 or 80% is left and 20% is right, or 60-40 or 51-49, whatever. So still we'll call it a dominant nostril. Now, how do you find out which one is dominant? It's very simple. There are few ways, very simple ways. Some people, after few classes, I'm very sure you will not have to find out which one is more dominant. You will know by your intuition, by your perception, by your yogic strength. You will be able to know. And that will happen. So don't get upset if you're not able to find out today which one is your dominant nostril. I'm very sure in this session, few of you would know which is your dominant nostril. For instance, you can keep a finger, and when you blow out, you can feel on your finger which nostril is dominant. By raising your hand, you can tell me that you've been able to find out which nostril is dominant. If you can't find out through this method by keeping a finger, another way is you close one side and breathe and see which side makes more noise. The other side, not the noisy side, the other side is dominant nostril. If left is making more noise than the right, when I breathe in, breathe out, it makes a noise, certain kind of nostril noise is there. You can hear the noise of your breath. So when you, whichever makes noise, the other side is the dominant. A blocked side will have more noise. A dominant side will not have noise. It will have less noise. Or maybe it is free flowing altogether. There is no noise. Obstruction, if there is an obstruction in the nostril, then only it causes noise. So the first method was this. If you are not able to find out, no problem. Go by that noise approach. You to find out which nostril makes noise. While I'm talking to you, you all can experiment with yourself. Try to find out which nostril is dominant. And it should corroborate. First method, second method. And even if you can't find out with first method or second method, the third method is you can apply any one of them. And later on, you don't need to apply at all any method, because you would know without finding out. You would, and at any given point of time, you would know which nostril is dominant. So third method is called, you have to do Saman Mudra with your right hand. This is Saman Mudra. And with your left hand, you do Jnana Mudra. So with the Saman Mudra, this tip of this middle finger just mildly touch the tip of the nose. And these two fingers will be on two sides. And they'll be touching the nose. Just touching, just very soft touch. And inhale and exhale, and you can feel the heat on your fingers. And you can feel which side is more dominant, left or right. This is called Suprasharp Pranayama. This is a wonderful pranayama to increase your awareness. This is the easiest way to improve your awareness. If every day you do it for a few minutes, you'll be able to increase your awareness. You'll get more consciousness. So this is called Supersonic Pranayama. You must relax yourself, close your eyes, focus on the breath, and you'll be able to know which side is more dominant, whether it is left or right. Incidentally, left is called Ida Nadi, Ida channel, and the right is called Pingala. Left is the moon channel, and the right is the sun channel. Lunar, solar, colder, hotter. So you can remember this. Even if you don't remember the name Ida and Pingala, it's okay. Left and right is good enough. Left is the cooler channel, and right is the hotter channel. So there were three ways. The fourth way, if you can't find out even with these three ways, there's one more way to find out. Take your mobile phone, keep it below your nose, and when you blow out, just see that vapor created on the screen. Try it out. Just see. Whichever side has a bigger vapor mark, that means that is your dominant nostril. Now, this is the easiest. Everybody has a mobile phone. Everybody has a mobile phone. The ratio of dominance would differ from person to person. Normally, when we talk about awareness, we talk about breath awareness. In meditation is breath awareness. We always talk about breath awareness. Anapanasati. So you watch your breath. So be aware of your breath. Now here, I'm asking you to be aware of your nostril. So you are way above breath awareness. You're way above breath awareness. So straight away, you get into a very, very high zone. only if you become aware of your dominant nostril, that means you're completely in control of your situation. Normally, they ask you that at any given point of time, you must be aware. You must be aware. You must be in awareness. Now, I'm asking you to be aware of your dominant nostril. Dominant nostril means, this is technically in the scriptures, the word used is nadi jnanam. You are aware of which nadi, the left nadi or the right nadi, which one is operating. So, nadi jnanam. A reasonably successful person would know which nadi is operating. So if you know it is your left channel or it is your right channel, at any given, while you're walking, while you're talking, while you're eating, while you're whatever you're doing, you must be aware at every moment which nadi is operating. See, this is called nadi jnanam. So you have a very heightened awareness. You're 24/7 into awareness, and not only normal awareness, heightened awareness. Normal awareness, when we talk, then it is breath awareness. But here we are talking of nostril awareness, which is much, much, much higher than breath awareness. So this first point was dominance of the nostril. What is the second aspect of breath? The second aspect of breath is biorhythm. What happens is, if it is left dominant right now, it won't remain left dominant forever. It will change. Now, how often does it change is a question. Scriptures say typically it should change in 60 minutes. It could be a little less or a little more. But every 60 minutes, for a healthy person, it should change. If it is left, after an hour, it should be right. After an hour, again, it should be left, and so on and so forth. It should keep happening. So, dominance of the nostril should keep on changing. This is called biorhythm. For some people, this might change in 70 minutes, 80 minutes, even 90 minutes, even 100 minutes. But mark of a good health is if it changes in 60 minutes. That means you are very healthy. You don't need to go to a doctor for any kind of checkup. As per breath science, you are a healthy person if your nostril changes every 60 minutes. Unless until you have done something unusual. For instance, you're sitting in an aircon or having ice cream or something. So you're disrupting your nostrils. Then you're disrupting. You don't let the body intelligence work on you. You don't let the nature work on you. So those are the times when you're disrupting it. In normal circumstances, it should change in 60 minutes. If it doesn't change, then try to be more healthy and it will happen. It will happen. And you'll be aware all the time. Okay, it is left right now. And then when it is changing, you would know, oh, now it's changing, it's changing. Oh, now it's changed. So you would know. You will be in awareness. It's not that you won't know. Can you turn off your audio, please? Somebody's audio is on. So this biorhythm could be 60 to 90 minutes. Lesser the better. If it is 60 minutes, then you are very healthy as per breath science. If it is 100 minutes, 120 minutes, that means you need to go for a medical checkup. This is the easiest way to find out whether you're healthy or not. So as a part of homework would be that all of you, after this class, try to be aware which nostril is operating at any given point of time. For initially, you might have to make an effort, take help of your mobile phone or whatever, but later on you won't need that. After a few days, you will know without any help. And also, if you can maintain a logbook and write down 444 L, 445 L, whenever, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, whatever, you can keep a diary in the pocket or whatever. So be aware which nostril. And why am I asking you to write? So you would know when does it change. You will know the pattern that your nostril changes every 73 minutes. You would be able to know. You would know the rhythm of your body. Nobody else can tell you. Only you can find out yourself. So that if you maintain a log of your breath with the dominant nostril, you will be able to find out after maybe a few days, maybe a week, 10 days, 15, it could be a month also. Then you would definitely know that my nostril normally changes between 65 to 67 minutes. Subject to intervention. When you take lunch or dinner, it would get impacted. It could delay or it could make it earlier. If you eat ice cream or if you do something unusual, you see a horror movie on the television, your change would get affected. Your mental state will also impact the change of dominance. So we have spoken about dominance of the nostril, biorhythm. And the third point is, which most of you know also, cycle of the breath. What we exactly mean by cycle of the breath? How many times are we breathing in a minute? How many times are we breathing in a minute? Typically, a human being should breathe 21,600 times in one day. 21,600 times in one day. And if you do the maths, divide this by 24 hours, divide that by 60 minutes per hour, you are left with 15. That means 15 times in a minute. So if you are breathing 15 times in a minute, then you are a normal person. Nothing exceptional about you. You are a healthy person. You are a normal person. You want to be healthier, then reduce your cycle of breath. Most of us will have 20, 25, 30. That means you're abusing your body. Smokers will have even less. Even more cycles per minute. If you take alcohol, if you smoke, you'll have more cycles per minute. If you don't eat healthy food, you don't maintain a healthy lifestyle, then you will have more cycles per minute. And the benchmark figure is 15 cycles per minute. Lesser the better. If you have 15, wonderful. If it is less than 15, much better. A small child, when you see, when he's born, normally he'll have 15 cycles a minute. So that's the factory setting. God has made you with that setting, with that software. Now, once you start abusing your body, your cycle goes up. It is said that your life is not dependent on number of years or number of days. It is dependent on number of breaths. So how many years will you live will depend on your number of breaths. For instance, Divine has given you 10 million breaths. For instance, just an example. Sooner you consume your 10 million breaths, you will depart this world. If you are a wise person, you won't consume that. It's like a water tank. It's like a water tank. You go to a hotel and they give you a huge water tank. You can finish that water tank in 7 days. You can finish it in 3 days. You can finish it in 7 days. 15 days, whatever. So if you finish it in 15 days, you'll survive for 15 days. If you finish it in 3 days, you'll survive for 3 days. So you have been given a breath tank. How do you consume will depend on you. This is the reason why yogis live longer than a normal person. You might have heard, oh, so-and-so yogi in Himalayas, he is of 200 years, and this person is of 300 years, this person is of 400 years. It might sound very unbelievable to us, but that is the truth. Because as per breath science, God does not decide your age. You decide your own age. For instance, say, in my case, I breathe 16 cycles in a minute. Just an example. Just 16 cycles in a minute. And I have 20 years left as per that calculation. Now, if I reduce my 16 into 8 cycles per minute, my life will become 40 more years. Not instead of 20 years left in my life, it will be 40 more years left. So I can double my balanced life just by changing my breath. We have discussed 3 points. There are many other points. Before you forget anything about these points, you can ask questions. Let's have a 2 minutes of question and answer. Then we'll move on with other points. You can unmute yourself and ask questions if anybody has a question.
Yeah, very good idea. Yeah, anyone may ask. Yeah.
Arun, can I ask something? Mohan here. How does exercise affect the number of breaths? Does it reduce?
It's a very, very controversial question as far as breath science is concerned. Breath science recommends only yoga, only pranayama, only meditation. It does not anything which increases your breath cycle is not recommended. You can do it temporarily for a few minutes, but regularly if you are spending 2 hours in a gym, that could be a little dicey. That means as per breath science, you are shortening your life. Kobe Bryant, he died when, I don't remember his age, but he was quite young. Maradona, and there are many others. There are many others who are in the pink of health. There are many people who go to gym every day for 1 hour, 2 hours, but that does not mean that they have longevity of life. Longevity of life will not come from gymming. It will come only from yoga. Because then you learn to control your breath. As long as you don't learn to control your breath, as long as you don't reduce the number of cycles, there are many other factors. I'm not discussing purposely those points. I don't want to mix up those points. So we'll come to those also. So once you hear all the points, then you make a holistic opinion. So even if you go to gym, you must make sure that you do gym in such a way, you do gymming in such a way that you don't increase your breath rate. You must exercise in such a way, be aware of that. Be aware of your breath when you are exercising, the way you are breathing. If you're panting like a dog, that means a dog has how many years? Probably only 8 years. 8 to 10, if I'm correct. Who lives the longest? Tortoise. 500 years. Some say 2000 years. He doesn't breathe. He preserves his breath. So if you start breathing like a tortoise, Mohan, you will live for 2000 years. After a few years, you will be conducting the class.
So you who goes to meditation and rishis and all that, they would also reduce their breaths per minute.
Yes, yes, certainly. Not only they reduce the breath, they hold their breath also. We'll come to it. There's another point. We'll discuss that. Any other question? Please feel free to ask questions.
So you mean to say all the Olympians and the sports persons have a shortened life? Athletes.
Yes, yes. You can do some research on Google and get back to all of us in the next meeting. You can tell us. Somebody has to do that research.
Mrs. Muchal have some question. Please.
Yes, ma'am. Unmute yourself. She always has questions and good questions.
What about brisk walking?
Brisk walking, if you're doing, be aware of your breath. Make sure your breath rate does not go up. Only your feet rate goes up. So you're walking fast, but without impacting your breath. So if you can do that smartly, so then it is fine. Even while jogging, people, intelligent people, they jog and they don't let the breath rate go higher.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
in
Any more?
between two
One more
breaths,
question?
in between inhaling and exhaling, if you can hold, practice to hold, that helps a lot.
You're cheating God, you're increasing your life. Yes.
No, I hope I will have blessings, not cheating.
Excellent, excellent. Wonderful. Yes, Rishi.
So how do you reduce the cycle of breath?
Sorry, how do you?
How do you reduce the cycle of breath so that, you know?
Oh, that's, you have to practice every day. You have to go through the route of meditation. You have to meditate, you have to eat healthy, you have to maintain healthy lifestyle. All those things will come into play. So, and then you have to be conscious about your breath. Purposely, I mean, you're breathing slow at any given point. And there are other aspects of breathing, we'll come to it and then take a holistic opinion. This is only one aspect, cycle. There are many other aspects. And what happens is, the interesting thing about breath is, many aspects are contradictory. So if you try to improve one, the other will go down. If you try, so, you know, you have to trade off. You have to really know, you want to be happy in life or you want to live longer. I mean, all those aspects will come. Once you know the subject, then you will understand. So every point is not on single direction. So it's contradictory. If you want to improve on one aspect, the other aspect you'll be losing.
कोई और भी अपना प्रश्न पूछ सकता है, हिंदी में भी पूछ सकते हैं.
Anybody else? One more question and then we
Arun, just one more question. How does age affect the breath rate? As you get older, does that increase, or should you be maintaining a constant breath rate from the day you are born to the day you die?
No, it cannot be constant.
Cannot be constant.
Normally, it would increase if you're not conscious about it, and if you're not, you don't maintain healthy practices. If you're not a yogi, then it would be on the rise. You would come to know, you would see people who are asthmatic, so they are always breathing. So they are consuming their breath faster. So you have to be mindful. You have to only do nose breathing. Don't do mouth breathing. Nose breathing, and breathe as less as possible. So we have discussed dominance of the nostril, whether left is dominant or right is dominant. There's a third situation also, we'll discuss it later, when both are equal. We haven't discussed that part. We'll discuss it later. Then the second point was biorhythm. 60 to 90 minutes, it should change. Lesser the better. If it changes, your breath changes every 60 minutes, that means you are very healthy. So not only you should reduce your cycle, you should also reduce that change of dominance. It should happen every 60 minutes. And the third point was number of cycles. So 15 is the standard. Less than 50, you're very healthy. More than 15, about 20 is still acceptable. But if it is 30, 40, which is quite unhealthy.
So I have one question.
Please.
Is there really need to regulate breathe? Because when we meditate and trying or practicing meditation, then automatically breathe will in silent or slow become slow. There is no need actually to regulate.
Absolutely. Only in, see, while you sleep and while you meditate, these are the two situations where you don't control your breath.
Yeah.
We are talking about only that situation when you are awake. So when you are in meditation, you don't control. But there is something called, if you have healthy practice, then indirectly it affects your breath in the sleep also.
Yes, and in the regular life
also. The way you breathe in the sleep is totally different from the way you breathe when you wake up and the way you breathe in meditation. So there are three kinds of breathing normally. One is during meditation, one is when you are awake, and one is when you are sleeping. And when you are awake, then there are also many kinds of breath. We'll discuss about it. So this is a wonderful question. During meditation, you don't control. The divine forces control your breath. Absolutely right. It slows down. Some of the yogis don't even breathe during meditation.
Thank you. Thank you for
there are some other aspects, then we'll touch upon this meditation. Other aspects
and it's related to what you mentioned, if I can ask that with your permission. We as adults, we go to gym, or I work out every day. Along with that, I jog also. I know you said it's contradictory, because when you jog, or even when you are on the treadmill, elliptical, or stair climber, stepper, your breathing, becomes heavy, or you start breathing at a faster pace. The inhaling, exhaling becomes faster. As per what you said, this is contradictory. So that means we are reducing our lifespan or longevity. Is that correct?
As per breath science, yes, that's the answer. So if you're doing the treadmill, try to control your breath. So be aware of it. So don't go in a very high speed. Go in a medium speed, a little less than medium. That is better.
Okay,
that's the answer. And you'll get the hang of it. Since today you know the this topic little more in depth. So from tomorrow, try to apply this knowledge even while gymming. The situation would improve.
Sure. Thank you.
Another aspect, the fourth aspect, is depth of the breath. Depth of the breath. How deep you breathe. How deep you breathe. Some people breathe up to the neck. Some people breathe up to the heart. Some people breathe up to belly. Now, which is the right one? As per yogic science, it is the belly breathing, which is the right way of breathing. When you breathe, you should be deep enough to go to touch your belly. And this breath science, this aspect of breath science is almost uniform. The Japanese scriptures also say the same. The Chinese scriptures also say the same, as much as our Hindu scriptures say. So there is a unanimity in this point at least. So that your breath must touch the navel button from inside. When I'm talking about depth, I'm talking about inward breathing, inhalation. I'm only talking about inhalation. I'm not talking about exhalation at the moment. So depth of the breath. Now, a child, when in mother's womb, is connected by umbilical cord. Now, he gets all the food, all the oxygen, everything what the child requires to grow. His whole body grows while he is in the mother's womb. And he's only connected with with the umbilical cord. He gets everything through the umbilical cord. Similarly, if you breathe and give it to your navel, the oxygen or the prana, to that will distribute it to the whole body and you'll be very healthy. Most of the disease, as per the breath science, most of the disease are because you don't do deep breathing. Now we are not talking about long life. We are talking about healthy life. Previous point was about long life. Now this point is about healthy life. People who have stress, and normally a friend of mine was telling me that I'm stressed. So I asked him, why are you stressed? He said, sometimes because of my boss, sometimes because of my spouse, and sometimes because of the mouse and the laptop. So primarily then I realized that these are the only 3 reasons for being stressed. So anyway, coming back to this, to remove stress instantly, within 2 minutes or within 5 minutes, this is the way. You start deep breathing, it will go away. Tension, even constipation, any kind of health issue you have, just deep breathing will help you. So the moment you get up in the morning, be aware of your breath, which nostril is operating, start deep breathing. When you're walking, when you're in the car, when you're in the lift, when you're cooking, whatever you're doing, the moment you become aware, start deep breathing. In the next class, we'll discuss how to do deep breathing, but all of you understand generally how to do deep breathing. So deep breathing means, as per Japanese scriptures, the word is tanden, T-A-N-D-E-N, tanden. Tanden breathing, it's called. So that point of tanden is 2 inches below the navel point. In the Hindu scriptures, we call it Swadhisthana or sacral chakra. We all know that. In Japanese, we call it tanden, and in Chinese, we call it dantian. So you would see there is a similarity in all the cultures, Chinese culture, Japanese culture, and these are the major cultures which gave, which contributed a lot to the human civilization. So whether it is tanden, or whether it is dantian, or whether it is Swadhisthana, so we call it belly breathing. We call it belly breathing. Whenever you get aware of your breath, be aware that you have to do deep breathing. Once you start doing deep breathing, your whole life would transform. And transform in how many days? 1 day. Just in 1 day. It's not that you do it for a few months and then you see the change. No, you don't have to. Just do it for today and see the difference. A lot of your medicines you'll be able to get rid of. Anybody has any question on this? This is quite an important point.
Arun, just one question. Okay, if you say deep inhalation, deep breathing, then what about people who wake up in the morning and then they do the Kapalbhati, exhale, 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 exhale?
We'll come to that. This is a very good question. Keep it reserved. Keep this point. I was very fearful that somebody will ask me this question. Yes, this is a very important question. We will discuss with this Kapalbhati. In class 3 or 4 we'll discuss, because there is prelude to this question. There are a few other points we need to discuss. This is a wonderful question.
Arunji, so you can say that swimming can be an exercise to reduce breathing, because when you swim, definitely in the water the mouth is closed. You only inhale when you.
If it reduces, then it is very healthy. Yes, it elongates your life. Now, see, once I complete all the aspects, then you will realize that, oh, if I try to take care of long life, then I lose on health. If I try to take care of this, then I lose on that. So these are very contradictory. So you have to trade off. You have to do it very wisely. It's like you're trying to be very good in mathematics, you're failing in literature. You're trying to be very good in literature, you're failing in history. So you have to balance, you have to pass the exam. You have to pass in all the subjects. So we'll come to that aspect. And the other point is the length outside. This time the previous point was depth inside depth. How deep is your breath? So that relates to inhalation. Now we are talking about exhalation. How long is your breath outside? How long is your breath outside? Scriptures have, this is a very huge topic. This one is a very, we'll discuss one whole day only on this point later on. But I'll just tell you the crux of it. Scriptures have said that you can measure your breath in finger width. So this is your finger. So this is 4 finger width, 8 finger width, 12 finger width, 16 finger width, and more than 16. So it could be anywhere from 0 to 16 could be your length of your exhalation. Previously we were talking about inhalation, now we are talking about exhalation. Here it says that shorter the exhalation, better it is. Now let us see this, how wonderful it is. In the previous point I told you, longer the breath, it should go up to the belly. So it is quite long, inhalation is quite long, it's quite deep. And exhalation, I'm saying that it has to be very shallow. Lesser the better. If it is 20 or 25 or something, it shows you are very, very unhealthy. It shows you have no control over your life. You can't make any resolution in life. You try to resolve something, okay, from tomorrow I'll quit cigarette. You won't be able to quit. A person who is not able to control his exhalation cannot control anything. The scriptures say this. So, if it is 20, 25 something, you are very unhealthy. You have a very defective lifestyle. If it is hardly 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, you are a person who can create miracles in life, who can achieve anything. There's one whole chapter on this. We'll come to it later on.
I have a question.
Miracles of breath. So we'll come to that miracles, and that miracle depends mainly on the exhalation. Yes, somebody had a question.
Yeah, Anandji, I have a question here. Normally it is said that if you inhale for 4 seconds, you need to exhale for 8 seconds, double the amount of time. So is that a ground rule we should apply, or what is your take on this?
If you can do that, what you said, I mean, you will elongate your life by at least 40 years. If you are supposed to live up to 100, you will live at up to 140 minimum. Whatever you said, if you can do it, you should settle down with that breath. You see, what we are doing is, we are doing it only. But once you do that and that becomes your lifestyle, you settle down with that breath. Then yes, but I mean, even if you do for 10 minutes, still it is much better. There are many other patterns, because short inhalation, long exhalation has some impact on the body. Faster inhalation, slower exhalation, it has another impact. So pranayama, if you see, it is a permutation, combination of breath. Shorter inhalation, longer exhalation, faster inhalation, slower exhalation, and so on and so on. There are so many, so many. As Muchalji was saying that about the square breathing, 5 seconds inhalation, 5 seconds holding, 5 seconds exhalation, 5 seconds holding, and so on and so forth. So various patterns have been named differently. You call every pattern by a different name, and those are different pranayama, and they have a different impact on your health, different impact on your body, different impact on your mind, on your lifestyle. Each pranayama has an impact.
How much time should we devote to the breathing exercises? And there are various
lifetime. You get settled into that.
No.
That should become your lifestyle.
We are also working.
It's like you learn something and then that becomes your habit. So you keep doing it. For instance, yogis, somebody asked Osho, how long do you meditate? He said, when did I leave meditating? When did I leave meditating? So he is always in meditation. Only those who come out of meditation, they enter meditation again. He never came out. All his life he remained in meditation. You can also remain in meditation 24/7. Even while listening to me, you can be in meditative state. Even while speaking, I can be in meditative state. While eating, while bathing, while walking, you can be in meditation 24/7. You make this style of breath your lifestyle. You should settle down with that. Initially, you have to change it. That change is very painful. You have to really force yourself to change it. But once you're able to achieve that, you settle down into that, then yes, all the miracles will happen in your life. All that you want to achieve, or all that you deserve to achieve, will come to you automatically without effort. Some people work, 12 hours a day, and still they say, oh, I'm not getting enough reward. God is very unjust. Some people work only for 1 hour and they attract a lot of wealth. In America, people go to play golf at 3 o'clock and all of them are billionaires. Anyway, so we have spoken about dominance of the nostril. The second point was biorhythm. Third point was cycle, number of cycles. Fourth was depth inside, how deep is your breath. And the fifth is the length outside, exhalation. Now, the sixth point, which is quite simple, how long can you hold your breath? Is also one of the aspects of the breath. Some people can hold it for 30 seconds, somebody can hold for 10 minutes, somebody can hold for 20 minutes or whatever. Somebody told, two friends were talking to each other. So one said to the other that, my father he went into the river. He can stay into the river. He can swim for 5 minutes underwater. The other fellow said, what's so great about it? My grandfather went into water last year and till now he hasn't come out. So the question is, how long can you hold your breath? Is also very important. Then you can do certain yogic exercises quite nicely. You inhale, you hold for quite some time. Then you exhale, again you hold for quite some time. That means you elongate your cycle. You might have 2 cycles in a minute. That means you might live up to 250 years, 300 years. As you hear about some yogis in the Himalayas. So if yogis can do it, we can also do it, provided we follow the yogic lifestyle, yogic breath style also. Another aspect, so this is the 6th or the 7th point, whatever, alignment of the breath. Rivers are breathing, sun is breathing, nature is breathing, trees are breathing, animals are breathing, everybody, whole system is breathing, whole nature is breathing. The way we breathe, nature is also breathing. Now the question is, are you in sync with the nature? This question is quite important. You might have read many articles that you are not in sync with the nature, not in sync with the nature. The real meaning of that is this, that if your breath is in sync with the breath of the nature, then you are in sync. Otherwise, what is the way to how to get in sync with the nature? So this is the only way. What happens is, you make so much of effort, the reward is only this much. But if you're in sync with nature, you make only this much of effort and the reward is so much. So nature is also going your way and you are also going the nature's way. So there's a harmony, there's a synergy. So your output will be much bigger. If you're swimming against the stream, what will happen? You'll get tired. You work for 12 hours a day and you are not accomplishing anything. But if you are in sync with the nature, a small effort will give you a bigger reward. So this point, how to do this, we will discuss it later. So this alignment of breath. We have another 5 minutes. Another aspect is pressure of the breath. We understand blood pressure, we understand other aspects, but breath pressure. Normally, there's a science called pulmonology in the medical science. So they check your lung capacity through this. Even if you're asthmatic, doctor conducts that test on you, spirometer test. Even if for birthday celebration, if you have to inflate the balloons, if you don't have the pressure, the breath pressure, you won't be able to inflate the balloons. So the breath pressure is quite important. So somebody has that breath pressure. Some people say, oh, I can't inflate the balloon. Some people can. You have to pucker your lips to do that. Another aspect is how many ways can you breathe? And here I'm talking more at the gross level. Mostly all the time, we are breathing unconsciously. You are breathing, but you don't know that you are breathing. Your heart is beating, your blood is flowing, but you're not aware. If God would have given you responsibility that heartbeat is dependent upon your efforts, you make sure that your heart beats all the time, then we would have been dead long, long ago. Or had he given you this, that okay, breath is, you have to run your breath. Divine will not run the breath for you. You have to do it for yourself. We would have been dead long, long ago. Because, so it is conscious breathing and unconscious breathing. Now this aspect of conscious breathing and unconscious breathing is a very big subject. We'll discuss it in detail much later. For everything I've been saying, we'll discuss it much later. Later. So maybe we have to extend the session from 8 to 10 or 12 because we may not be able to complete all the topics within breath. More conscious you are, better it is. When you are conscious about your breathing, that is called meditation. You're conscious. When you become conscious of three things at the same time, technically that is the definition of meditation. And as Bhagwan Buddha said, be aware of your breath all the time. All the intelligent people, wise people, yogic, smart people, they're aware of their breath 24/7. While sleeping, while eating, while walking, while breathing, whatever, while fighting, whatever. And if you remember our first point, we have spoken about nostril awareness, which is much bigger than breath awareness. So there is conscious breathing. In conscious breathing, the Western world uses the word breathwork. Breathwork means you are breathing. And when I simply say breathing, that means you're not breathing. It happens on its own. You're not breathing. So there's a difference. Breathing, breathwork. There's a difference between breathing and breathwork. So conscious breathing, unconscious breathing. Most of the time we are unconscious breathing. Pranayama is conscious breathing. So if you learn to live life with conscious breathing, your life would change. The third aspect of breathing, and I'll stop at this point. This is the last thing I discussed. There are few other aspects of breathing. Probably one more aspect that we'll discuss in the next class because that is a little longer topic. So we have discussed about 8 to 9 aspects of breathing. So yes, The last aspect is watch your breath. One is conscious breathing, one is unconscious breathing, and the third kind of breathing is watch your breath. Watch your breath is truly meditation. Sakshi Bhav. I'm speaking it for Muchalji because she is very enlightened. And so, Sakshi Bhav. So, conscious breathing is, I'm consciously breathing. I'm taking my breath deeper and all that, all that. Another one is unconscious. What is happening? I don't know. I don't know. Third one is Sakshi Bhav. I'm watching my breath all the time. I'm a watcher. I'm watching my breath. And one more aspect is there. You are with the breath. Even the fourth aspect. When you're exhaling, you go out with the breath. When you're inhaling, you come in with the breath. That is the highest level of meditation. So, you are the breath. You're not even watching the breath. The moment you're watching the breath, you are different. Breath is different. You are the watcher. That is a meditation. See, conscious breathing is meditation. Higher than that is Sakshi Bhav. You are the watcher of the breath. Even higher than that is the one which I told you right now. Because as I told you, this breath awareness, and above breath awareness is this Nadi Jnanam. So once you have this nostril awareness, you are better off in ways more than one. Your life would change. You try practicing it from today only. You will start, after 8 or 10 sessions of this, you will start controlling situations in life. Whatever has been discussed today is part of a Hindu scripture called Shiv Shurodaya Shastra, which has about 395 aphorisms or sutras. And these sutras are full of wisdom. I do not expect that all of us will understand the whole literature, or we would utilize the whole literature. Only a partial utilization could change your life. Even if you understand a few aspects like Nadi Jnanam, it would revolutionize your life. And it will revolutionize forever. So I urge all of you to derive benefit out of this, learn this technique, utilize this technique, and change your life. Don't blame others for not getting anything in your life. Don't blame destiny. Don't blame divine. Don't blame people around you. But you have the biggest controller with you. That is your breath. As Bhagavan Shankar said, that every person has his breath, and breath is your biggest weapon. Once you start controlling breath, once you start manipulating breath, once you start aligning with breath, once you start controlling breath, managing breath, things will start happening. Things will start manifesting in your life. Thank you.